I have a really fun idea for this t-shirt. I have a concept to put some iron-on design here. So a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and measure how many inches. So if 5 inches would be from the sleeve all the way over to here. And I measure that just because I want to make sure. Okay, so 5 inches across would be a little much. If I want it to be up high, I would need it to be a little lower so that it's not off into the armpit area. So measuring first helps me to know what size I'm working with, because some patterns are not going to work very well with a really small design. Other ones will. And I'm pulling out, that's right, my SDX230D, also known as my ScanNCutDX that has Disney designs built right into it. So here in pattern, it's really nice. All the Disney designs are right here. And there's a lot of directions I could go, but I have an idea here because it is the holidays time and this one is just super cute. So I know that widthwise, and I understand that that's going to be the tips of the antlers. So it's not going to be too terribly wide, but I think I would like to take it a little smaller than 5 inches. We'll go here. We'll go so that the height is 5 inches. That'll work. And say, okay, now the great thing here is all of the pieces are separate. What I'm going to do is press a piece and say, okay. And then I'll move these guys down here because I'm going to be, and then add, it'll bring me right back to here. Because I'm going to be using heat transfer vinyl, I can actually go ahead and put all the pieces at once. And then that's the snow. So let's say okay to that and move it over here. And the joy is also going to be, I could do gold or I could do white. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with white at first. And right away what I'm going to do to this is edit. Actually, I'm sorry. We have another piece to add. These little guys. Those are cute. Okay, set. And those were red, so I'll put those over there. Now what I'm going to do is go to edit and I'm going to select everyone and say okay. Now I have to select, oh, actually I think I don't have to select everyone. The thing to consider about your pattern is, so the joy, because we're doing heat transfer, we have to do the mirror image. Now in this case, because it is actually just a word going across Mickey's head, we probably didn't have to mirror image all of it because it wasn't going to affect anything else. But generally speaking, I do select and mirror image everybody when I'm going to do a project like this. Why? Well, because if I don't, and let's say, for example, it's the little snowy tops to Mickey's ears. Well, if the ears are different shapes or different sizes, slightly different, anything slightly, and then you mirror image, it's not going to fit correctly onto there anymore for some pieces. So in this case, the joy was just going to be placed somewhere inside the Mickey head. So I think it's going to be a-okay if I hadn't done that, but that's how you would do it, just to quickly and easily select everybody. Now, if we go back into here, if we were doing something like, let's say we were turning this into an ornament, or we wanted more layers of Mickey so that we could layer that part up, we can certainly do that. You can certainly select more pieces if you wanted. Maybe you want more little dots here. I'm kind of debating. I kind of feel like if those dots were white, it would look like snow. So I think, I'm going to say, oops, sorry, I didn't pick anything, so I can't say okay, but I can go back to pattern. I'm leaning towards actually putting these in the snow. So I can see that less than 6 inches by 6 inches will work for red, white, and I'm going to make the antlers gold. Once you have your materials, I have scanned them in, and you just do that by pushing this button and it scans it in and back. And what you'll notice is, so I'm noticing for this, my piece of material isn't quite big enough. So what I can try to do here is move this up a bit. And if you need to just kind of nudge it over slightly so that it gets just so, you can do that. And we can see that that will now fit. That's why I like to scan this, because then I can see exactly what pieces of material, and I didn't have to count squares. I just kind of approximated under this size, and it works out really well, which I absolutely love. It makes Scan and Cut so easy to use all the different colors all at once. So once we have everything done, we just push cut, and half cut is on. If it's not, you just push this button and change it to on. Let the machine cut everybody out. Once the pieces are cut out, all you need to do is weed them, which basically what we're talking about is remove every bit that you don't want to keep. So this is why it's also good to try to use smaller pieces so you have less waste. You can see I'm peeling off here. Now this white piece, because these are all different areas that these are going to go to, that means that this white piece, what I'm probably going to do is cut apart the different elements. And if anything sticks, like I've got a little dot here sticking, I can just kind of help it along. Once you have everything all set up, you're going to heat up your iron, and then you can see here I've been, well, things fell apart a little bit here, but I was layering things up so that I could see exactly how things would go and how things would work. It looks like I lost one of my little bits there, but that's okay. They'll go back on. So what I like to do is really just take a look at how things are going to go and just make sure everything works before we commit to ironing and all of that. And then we want to iron, I think it goes this way actually. Okay, so it looks like it goes this way. This little guy should go up in that area. So these guys, we could keep them all together, or we can undo it and do it our own way. That's totally personal preference. So once you've seen that everything works, you're happy with everything, you like the way it goes, you'll start from the bottom layer. And then you're going to get your iron out, and you will need some fabric to go under, or over, excuse me, over. Not anything fancy, just any fabric just to press on there. Whoop, and steam to off. And you're just going to press and set and then lift. And if it does not lift, it has not transferred, and you repeat. And then you just peel off. And in this case, for this one, some of them, it works better if you let them cool down for a second so you don't burn your fingers. One thing that I will do sometimes is place the protective layer back over, just to make sure that I don't accidentally overdo my vinyl or burn it or anything like that. However, this one was kind of too strong and affecting the other, so I just real careful and then put that back down. And again, keep repeating with your steps and continue working until you get to your last layer. And I think so for these, because they're going to be, should be really quick and easy. Once in a while, especially the glitter is a hardier vinyl, so once in a while when I just have a couple of small dots, I'll go like that when I'm sure that it's going to be a really quick and easy transfer. And the t-shirt material is hot because I've been putting down so many different layers and all of that. And then that lets me, I just want to change the angle of these ones over here. And I'm just going to press there, like so. Now you might notice there's just a slight imperfection on this ear. When I was doing the snow-topped ears, I didn't have this part covered and I touched it just for a second. The red is a very sensitive vinyl. I only point that out. It's not a problem. It's going to be just fine. I just point it out because I do like to make sure to point out that's why I try to cover. I didn't cover back up with the material, but that's why I do try to normally make sure that I've got the material covered up and that nothing can get onto my other stuff. So that's it though. We're ready to rock some Mickey Mouse holidays with a custom shirt. I just love it. And you know what? Once I put this on and wash it a time or two, I'm not going to really notice that. And if you have any spots, like I just noticed this very little tip here is kind of lifting up, just put the cover back down. And you can put the fabric back down, but I'll be real honest, when it's something real small like that, and I know that it's just that one little spot that needs to get reheat set, a lot of times I'll just do what I just did, which is just set it down, give it a little heat because that's all it needs, that one tiny spot. And that way I make sure I'm not overheating any other areas of my design. Well, I really love how this turned out, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you next time.